All right, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go ahead and take a look at JASMY here, because I think that it has actually shown some strength in the last 2 days or so. Yes, it was a weekend, but still, JASMY was not taking any breaks, and we saw double figures actually between yesterday and today, up almost 30%. I mean, it doesn't feel like so, but it is actually what is happening right there. And what I like the most about this whole thing is that we have formed this double bottom here with a very higher low, and also a specific structure that we have seen time and again, that with these bottoming structures, more often you get to see this, inverse head and shoulders patterns, and they're really, really powerful. So JASMY has got all the ingredients it needs for a specific bottom right there. And I'm also very much confident that the bottom is in here for the JASMY price. That obviously that is not a concern for a lot of people right now, because we have got the Bitcoin price in price discovery. And also for JASMY, I think JASMY is just going to be following in very much nicely. Over there on X, I was posting about the JASMY price at bottoming out very much quickly against Bitcoin. And we really want to see that with Bitcoin heading into a new all-time high and JASMY just finding a bottom, means that JASMY is just about to outperform BTC. And that actually plays very much well into the narrative of the Bitcoin dominance dropping, meaning not much capital actually is going into Bitcoin, rather it's going back into altcoins like JASMY and the rest of them. So we have got a perfect setup for that, and I actually have no doubt, but obviously nothing is a guarantee, but I'm just going to be doing exactly that and putting my money exactly where my mouth is. And so with JASMY here, I think one other very important thing that we should be talking about every time, I mean, more than a lot of people do, I think I'm the only one who refers to this time and again, is the 50 daily moving average. I mean, this thing is as clear as day, because what we have seen in the past is that, okay, each and every single time we have a cross here and a nice back test, we have big numbers actually. I mean, you can also look at this moment, you can also look at this moment here. I mean, you can go as far back as 2022 and still see the same pattern repeating itself time and again. So yeah, we have had one of late, I think it was back in May, but it didn't actually pan out to be as great. Obviously, I mean, when you look at indicators, they're not 100%, but you look at the likelihood here, you can see that you have had like 6 different times and only one time has failed. So we've got another cross here on that 50 daily moving average, and really this is where my next biggest trade is going to be here for JASMY, because just as I'm saying here, it's actually very much clear and easy that JASMY, okay, breaks that 50 daily moving average, and it has a back test. Once you can catch this back test, I think you can make a lot of money, because this obviously was not a big one, because this was pumping like right around 60%, but the West have actually pumped more than 100% over and over again. Take a look at this moment also. You happen to break your 50 daily moving average here, you back test it nice and easy, and take a look at where you are. So if you would be trading this 50 daily moving average here, that would actually make a lot of sense, right? Take a look at this moment also. You have a break of that 50 daily moving average. You just, kiss that 50 daily moving average one more time, and then off and away you're going. So this is going to be a nice trade. I have actually in the past 2 times traded these ones with Patreon members, and they have actually turned out to be so great. So the 50 daily moving average for JASMY is very important. I think I can go ahead and show you all the other examples, but for the sake of time, I think I'll just come to where we are today here and just show you the game plan here for JASMY. In the coming days, I would really just expect the 50 daily moving average for JASMY to keep, churning along in this direction, maybe starts pushing towards the upside. And at that point, one way or the other, I expect JASMY to go ahead and find support right around that 50 daily moving average. Obviously, right now I can't say what number that is going to be, because this is something that is dynamic. It's going to be changing as time passes, but for me, the moment we're getting closer to this 50 daily moving average is just a great entry once again for JASMY. I've already started deploying, and I'm 20% in, just trading this area right around 1.5 cents, but I think there can be another chance obviously in the coming days, just as we have seen in the past, that okay, the pullback can be big actually. And you can see here, this was minus 25% to backtest that 50 daily moving average and then push one more time. So, crypto is volatile. We should never say, oh yeah, JASMY is not going to be able to pull back one more time, maybe like another 11-15%. It can do that obviously. So this is what I'm banking on. And obviously, I'm also looking at the Bitcoin price. What I've just been talking about with Patreon members of late is that, look, this whole thing has formed a cup and handle formation. Okay, it can go to $150,000. That's great. However, I think looking at the patterns of the Bitcoin dominance and also how JASMY is behaving, acting like at the very lowest of supports that it has on BTC, I think it makes much more sense to be in altcoins at this point, because the percentages on Bitcoin, I mean, to go to $150,000, that's less than 50% from where we are right now. Yes, the number is bigger, but the rewards are not there. But in that time, I expect Jasmy to absolutely go mad, like really, really go crazy, along with a number of other different altcoins as well. So I'm thinking that, okay, yeah, at some point we can have a pullback for Bitcoin. I think it's also very much normal to have something like that after going almost vertical like that. I was also looking at another thing here, which is the Bitcoin CME gap, and we happen to have a CME gap right around I would say $114,000. Nobody seems to be talking about it, which is actually weird, because you know, people tend to talk about this a lot. You can see there is a massive gap right in here. For one reason or the other, this time around nobody mentioned it, because maybe we were breaking all-time highs and there was a lot of euphoria in the market. But in the back of my mind, I'm just looking and saying, okay, look, I don't want to be taken by any surprise here. I think still the Bitcoin price can drop to 114,000, 113, 115, whatever the case may be. And in that moment, we can have another entry here for Jasmy. As I said already, I have started deploying, and I'm 20% in, but what's going to be happening with the rest of the 80%, right? We have to find a way to enter that. So we'll see how the markets are going to be behaving. If they're generous enough, we'll get that entry and maximize everything. And that's just going to be fantastic here for Jasmy. Very much bullish on it, and still, I think that 23 cents can be reached for Jasmy, and the best that the price can do is maybe right around at 32 cents here for Jasmy. And we'll see and talk about more price targets as we continue with this bull run. Before I go, let me show you this amazing activity that our partners over there at LBank, the exchange, are doing. 30% cashback on your deposits, and if you happen to trade on their exchange. I think this event is going to be lasting like 2 days from now, so there isn't much time actually. I have put the link in the description to that event, and also if you don't have an account, you can use the same link to join and go ahead and claim this welcome bonus. On a different note altogether, if you want to see my trades, especially the upcoming Jasmy long position, I'm going to be opening it over there on Weeks, and you can go ahead and copy my trades for free, and you know, you don't have to be an expert in anything. It's just copying, exactly copying, right? The risk obviously is that if I'm wrong, you also happen to tend to be wrong, right? Other than that, I think we've got a win rate of like 80% in the last 3 weeks or so, and a small profit obviously, because I was just testing this thing out and seeing how it works. But in the coming days and weeks, we expect to, you know, have a better return in terms of our profits. And with that being said, I want to thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and I'll see you on the next one. Take good care of yourselves. Bye bye.